Bring it back, bring it back. Bring it back. Hi, my name is Kat. We're not having any fun today. Welcome our beginning glass blowing class who's been kicking butt. So today we are doing a roll-up. So basically this whole class is about having fun, learning, and being brave enough to experiment. So we're just going to experiment. And through experimentation, we have already broken something this morning. So you will also get to see how to fix things. You're welcome, everyone. You're learning. So we're just going to roll everything up on a clear bubble because we're trying to have a lot of texture in the piece. And we are going to have some amazing helpers today who are all past or present studio assistants. We have the Honorable Krista Westbrook. There you go. We have the world's best TA ever, Erin Nelson. And then the one, the only, give me a drum roll, everyone, Christopher Giordano. He's that way. So I'm going to pretend that you're not here now. No offense. I just want to focus on some glass. So please don't mind if we curse. If there are fart noises or burps, maybe they can edit them out. All right, everybody. So if you guys have any questions too, just shout them out because this is all kind of a new experience for you guys. So if you guys are asking questions, I'm sure people that are watching have questions too. Oh my God, I didn't press enter again, that's why. All right, guys, so just like we've been doing all week, we reheat our bubble before we do anything to it. The only difference here is that this is just a little bit bigger, right? So just because you're changing scale doesn't mean you're changing your process. Can I get a teensy bit of air, madam? Thank you. You can blow a little more, miss. Oh, thank you so much. A little more. And off. Perfect. Come lift it. This is because remember yesterday you had like the big one. We had like, well, not even a big one. We had like a 12 gather. Who else wants to lift it? Anyone? There you go. It's kind of cold right now. We have to wait to gather on it anyway.
What is 12 gather?
So it's a 12 block. So we want to be able to fit into our different blocks. So the next one's probably going to be.
It's heavy, but it's not as heavy as glass. Like glass looks like a plate, so that's heavy, but
Right?
this is heavy all the way around.
Right? It feels, well, you have bigger hands, so this pipe actually feels probably pretty good for you. With my hands, I'm like, God, this mic is annoying. It's pulling my pants down. All right, so the whole time we've been doing stuff, we haven't really been measuring. We haven't been like crazy precise with anything. So I want to just talk to you guys quick about like calipers. So you're going to see us get a sheet of Marini that we've made. It's already fused. That way I know all those little pieces that I have aren't going to like fall into the glory hole when we heat it. We use a pair of, can you hold up the pie dividers, Chris? Use a pair of pie dividers, and that gives us the turns the circumference into a diameter for us. And then I take that and take it on here where it locks. That way if I drop them or anything. So I know I need this much more glass, and most of my things that I roll up are to my wrist. That way I can just do this and I know how long they have to be. Well, it's not just the widest part of my bubble, because if I'm rolling up a flat sheet, I'm going to need this to become a tube. So there's also that pâte de verre plate in there. So how I decided what the size was, Chris, I think you can probably start heating up the plate. It's not going to need a lot. How I decided the actual size of this was I took that pâte de verre plate and then I made the roll-up fit the plate. So this whole time we're doing stuff, I'm just going to start eyeballing things. And I have air in here, but I really am not going to need a lot more, because I'm not going to gather over this. I need all of my thickness to be inside this bubble, but I need to know as I stretch this bubble that I'm not going to lose it when I start like making it narrow. So it needs to be in there, but that's all it needs. So we're going to measure it. I know it needs to be a little longer, so I'm actually going to do a little strip gather on this, Chris. And then we'll roll it up. And we're not punting this at all, so I'm not terribly concerned if my roll up doesn't get like all the way over my moil and I'm not going to trim it. This is going to be a light, so it's going to have a naked spot in the back anyway. And Marini is so precious and kind of expensive. A lot of Marini processes involve waste, which you already have a huge carbon footprint as a glass blower. So when you waste anything, it's just not awesome. Here, I'll leave. Now watch Chris, because at this point, I'm just chilling out. His job's the important job. Right? I should take a strip gather on that. Because I need that much meat, like towards the tip. I need it longer, yeah. Look at all that what is that? Do a scuzz burn on it before I gather. We're only 10 minutes in and I'm already about to roll up, so we'll take our time. We'll do a scuzz burn. A scuzz burn burns off scuzz. We're glass blowers, so like when we say something, assume it means what we're saying.
So where did the scuzz come from?
The scuzz came from using a paper, using the block, right? You put little schmutzes on there. So we want to let it get a little cold so that we can do a kind of like little baby heat where we just heat up the skin of it. And it burns all this stuff off. If we're using clear and then we're using like super pattern rich Marini, we want to make sure that any clear that's in there isn't going to have funk in it and it's not going to disrupt the pattern at all. There's compressed air right there. Ooh, that's hot. Lovely. So now because we're going to take a strip gather on this, I'm not doing it very hot. Do you see how I see it still moving? When you do a roll up, you want the core of it to be nice and warm, or the core to be a little chillier. That way, when you're messing with it, maybe it doesn't roll up perfectly. Maybe you put it kind of askew to the side. You want the skin to be really hot so you can just kind of like maneuver the skin of the glass. Whereas this isn't going to be like flopping around on you the whole time, right? I'm already like, I'm so tired. Why did I make a big thing? Okay. Yeah, can you just hold the calipers for me? Cool. Alright, how about now? Shrink it up a little. Can I just test the length of it real fast? Perfect. All right, but it needs to be a little wider. How about now? So now again, because I just took a gather, right? I'm not gonna superheat it right away. A little more. Perfect. I'm gonna, again, let it get a little solid, and then I'm gonna take my heat, and I'll be over. Can you be there with a brush and tweezers, in case like it needs a little bit of a flippy poo? Thank you, Miss Westbrook. Chris, you're doing an amazing job over there. Tell me when you're ready. Okay. I'll be here all week, guys. So now we do a little flash. And now we have the cleaners come through. This is when I really need help as a glass blower because I can't see tiny imperfections at this point. I have a hard time seeing straight at this point, so I rely super heavily on my team. Yeah, that needs to go that way. Yeah, can I flip it? And you, because you can see straighter than I can. So Chris is gonna do this for me because I trust him and he sees better.
So what he's doing is he's taking the ends that are going to meet and he's just grabbing and pulling together so they touch. As you guys learned yesterday, some colors blow out more than others, so what we're trying to do is seal that gap where the clear is, just so when we blow this out bigger, that clear doesn't distort whatever shape she's going for.
By doing that, it won't show a seam.
By the time this all melts together anyway, you're not really gonna see a seam. That can just be the bottom of the light. So also remember, when you have these different processes, guys, I know going into this that there's gonna be a seam. I do everything in my power to make that seam the least visible it can be. But I also know this can be a light, and if there's a funky seam, it can just go on the bottom, right? Yeah. You can, if it was, the bubble itself was too small and the plate was too wide, you could blow things, you could marver it, but there's no real getting rid of material at this point. The only other thing that I'm worried about right now is that I need, thank you, madam, I need this to match the cane or the pâte de verre plate that's in there. So Whenever you have a seam, you can do things like heat up that spot with a torch and pull some clear, push the clear in to meet that pattern. But you still end up disturbing the pattern. So
We want to disturb the pattern
as little as possible. Chris, can you just try one more time to just go in between them and scooch them together a little bit in that spot?
So you can see Kat's not turning all the time. She's gonna let it sag so that when she flips it
Take
over,
the tweezers
it
and
has
push
time
this
to
way.
remove it before it falls back
can.
on center. So you can see where Kat's standing. She's standing on
go.
top of the piece. Pushing down.
Right? None of us are actually the hugest of people here. So when you are working with this kind of stuff, you have to be as ergonomic as possible. I think that'll be fine because it's gonna melt. Thank you. Remember, if you are not paying your assistants, you must use your manners. Pleases and thank yous go a very long way. So at this point, I now know that the other circumference, can you do me a favor, since that plate split, can you just double check that that's still the right measurement? Just gonna marble this a little bit more. Is it the same? Hair smaller?
It's going to get wider when you swing it.
Well, here. Test it out right now for me, please. No, leave that. Let this be hot. Can you bump that up to 1070 real fast? How's this? Oh my God, Aaron. I think it's perfect. All right, so again, we're gonna let this get cold. We're pumping this up because it's a plate. We want it to be nice and warm. And at this point, I'm gonna hand it off to Gio so that he can take it and stamp it straight up and down. That way I can tell left, right, this way, that way. Oh, you got so much time. And Chris, I would like when you stamp it, if the seam can be facing towards you. Here, you want this? And I'm gonna heat these up, that way, if I need to touch the plate at all to move it, right, to move it back together, I've got this. And if worse comes to worse, I'll just take my Kevlar sleeve and push it where I want it. Ready. So seam to you, seam at your belly button. Perfect. This way more. Down. And push. Push, 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 push. Push more, push more, push more. Rock towards you. Go ahead. Christopher. All right.
Bring her on over.
So now we're just looking to see if there's schmutziness. Oh, it's actually not that bad. Can you heat it up a little bit more, please? The little cracks, by the time we heat this up and stretch it, will kind of be okay. I'm just gonna get it a little bit warmer, right? If I want it cold, if I'm trying to move it and not distort the pattern a ton, but the seams were so okay, like they're not actually that bad. So I'm gonna let it get hot, make sure it's really stuck on there before I try and move it so I don't chip any extra off. Lovely. Can you hold it opposite way first? Thank you. It's always better to push up rather than push down. Flip. That way you don't flip, end up pushing something off, right? It's always better to push up. Flip. That's fine. All right, let's heat it up. And then I'm gonna marble it. Thank you, sir. This is why it's always very helpful to remember that you were part of a community, like you're beginning, right? These are your first steps into our family. So all these guys came here today. I didn't even really ask them. They're like, do you need help? And I was like, I would love help. So remember, as you go through your journey, to always be kind to each other, because it makes a difference. So I'm not gonna go crazy with this right now as far as marvering goes. I just wanna know, tell me if this looks wackadoodle at all while I'm marvering it. We're gonna just kind of cinch everything in, make sure that none of it's just gonna fall off.
Will you do another clear gathering?
No, because we're going for, all right. Yeah, we're going for, the traditional technique is called granulare, where you have all this texture on the surface, and you still get it if you make like a stuffed cup, and then you put glass in it, then you blow it out, but at that point, you still kind of like really squish it together. So for me, every single color has a different texture. It doesn't have to be Duro, which is like a very, very stiff kind of color. But you can still feel like each color has a different sensation to it.
This is not to squish it into the glass.
The point of it, yep, the point of it is to heat it up, marver it, make sure that it's all homogeneous and that it's gonna blow out evenly and nice and happy. But at the end of the day, if I marver it too much, right? It's like our wraps that we were doing yesterday. We marver it too much, go a little too crazy. Then we're gonna lose all of it. But as we blow it out, it for sure will, as you blow it out, you'll feel the texture again. Okay. Let's do a tip check. And then I'm gonna hand this off to you so we can start blowing it.
Just right here, this part right there. I don't know if you want to pinch it together. This all looks really nice. It's just this part here.
What do you think I should do? Just like snip it off?
No, I would just pinch it together with the tweezers.
Like push it in?
Yeah.
Who cares? It's too cold to do that. Yeah, I think that's smart. If you can hear us on the mic, this is why it's helpful to have friends.
But yeah, just once he heats the surface, lets the bubble cool down a little bit, then you can kind of, just pinch it together.
That's what I was just like, maybe we should just torch it. So let's do a little torch, and then we'll do a skin heat, and then we'll push it in, and then we'll torch it, smooth it out. Friendship is magic. Just like the unicorns told us.
They're looking at a seam where there's a little bit of clear, and they're just trying to heat it up so they can pinch that and get rid of that seam, just like they were pinching it earlier.
You did great. Yeah, let's go heat it. This time we're going to, what's been the theme of the day? When we heat something, we heat the?
Piss out of it.
There we go. The whole thing. Get it hotter? Hotter? Hotter again? Right, if I have to do something really specific all of a sudden, and it's only in one spot, I want my tools to be warm. That way I'm not immediately stealing any heat that I put into it. Weep. Yeah, it's at least closer. Sir? Let's start going for it. Yeah, let's get it hot. Sit at the bench. I don't like blocking it. I feel like I pick stuff up. Let's get it hot, marver it, and then get it hot again. That way we push it into the core a little bit. And then we'll heat the back of it and start blowing it out. Does that sound okay? Perfect. All right, so at this point, you're all like, this is as cold as when she's like, this is too cold to do anything. You're right, it's too cold to do anything. We have to get it hot. But remember, glass is an insulator. So there's like a big wall of glass, which means we've been heating the surface, right? That's gonna get hot really fast. But now we're gonna go into the process of heating the whole thing. So you can't just get it crazy hot and expect to blow it. The core is still too cold. So we're gonna do a couple heats and then a marver. Heat, marver, and that's gonna push the heat inside. And once we have heat throughout the whole situation, like so, marvering will flatten the texture, but it will also push heat, right? We're saying, skin, can you cool down a little bit for us? We want you to make sure the pattern doesn't move around on us while we're heating the inside. But if we get everything too hot and we turn in multiple directions at the same time, it's gonna stay. They're facing that way. They probably heard that though. Then we'll end up pushing heat into the inside. All right, that's good. What I love about this process is as perfect as I measured everything, as many days as I planned ahead, right? It still goes wrong, right? And you just have to have fun even when it goes wrong, because the glass can feel when you're not having fun. Sir, how are you feeling? Do you want to marver one more time? Do you want to puff it up a little bit and then torch it? I'll sink 'em with them. We put risers because it's easier for him to do stuff, but I'm short, so my little feet kick back and forth. Feel very adorable. Yep. All right, can I get a little bit of air, please? I want to push a lot of this off the moil. A decent amount of it's on the moil. All right, and off. I just wanted to make sure that it was there. All right, I'm gonna heat it and marver the back of it a little bit. All right, so it's good to know when you as a glass blower should sit back and let other people help, right? This is a heavy thing. If I tried to do all these moves all the time, then I would just be exhausted. So I'm gonna do this one move because I personally have like an idea in mind of what I wanna see. And then as soon as I'm done that, I'm gonna hand it back off to Chris. It's not that Chris can't do it, right? It's just when you're an artist, sometimes you have to do things yourself because you can't put what you're seeing in your head into words. All right, guys, what do we do when we want to get glass off the end of our pipe? We mark at an angle. God, you're all so smart. I taught you so well. All right, and now see how just that little push pulled it off for me? That's all I wanted. And that's something a paper wouldn't have been able to do because I am not like an extremely giant, strong human. Can I just get a little puff of air real fast, please?
Would you have been able to do it with a block?
And stop, perfect. All right. Let's give it heat, torch it, give it heat, blow, torch, blow. Now it's where I want it. 30 minutes. Would a block have been able to do the same thing? Again, if I had a giant meaty forearm and a giant bicep and I could do, if I could put enough pressure on it with a block, sure, the block could do that. Could I physically do that? No. Gravity is my friend over there, right? We talk about how different tools have different strengths for them, right? You have soft, medium, and hard over there. Hang it down a little bit for me. All right. Can I get a teensy puff? Back. And towards me. Can we not go so far? Thank you. I'm just following you. And off. Thank you. Turn. But why? Why are we doing this part? I want the back to blow out more, right? How we're always like, we want our sides to blow out and not the tip. When it all gets this cold and it's this big, I want this part to blow out. So we're gonna give it a little extra sauce before we heat it. That way when we blow, we're gonna give it a tiny hang. Do. Oops, sorry. Just like we're doing. Okay. I just wanna scooch this back a little bit, please. Thank you. There you go. I was saying words and I forgot what I was saying. Oh, how we've been doing your rapid fire cups. Can I get a little puff? Remember, we hang them down and off, perfect. We hang them down, we let them stretch, and then we catch them and we blow it up, same thing, right? But I don't have that fresh heat from there, so I want to make it like I have that fresh just from the furnace heat. Does that make sense? We're trying to just build up that heat so that I can do that one move, catch it, and there it is. All right, you know the drill whenever you over it. Once you have a puffy torch, use it at all moments because it looks really good on camera. All right, hang it more. And level. Krista, can I have a hard puff? Everybody off for a sec. Can we straighten that up? There we go. Perfect. Hard puff. Off. Hang it. Level. Can I get one more puff, Krista? And off, and jackline. right. This is going to be hanging jackline, just like those cups we've been doing. We're going to hang it, jack it, catch it, blow it, jack it. Yeah, baby. Yeah, Chris. Up, air. I got it. Everyone's fine. Come towards me and blow. Back. Can you bring it in my lap a little more, please? Thank you. And everybody off for 1 sec, except Chris. All right, let's do one more heat for right here, and we're just gonna round it up and squat it a little bit. It's a little thin on the sides right now, so if you can feather the heat a little bit, that would be wonderful.
Good, and then open the
Remember how we were talking about if you just heat your bottom like this, you're gonna smush it, whereas if you feather it, you're gonna condense it a little bit more thoroughly, I guess would be a good word. Best assistants ever. I couldn't ask for a better dream team. I love you all so much. So ideally, this will be thick enough that we're going to be able to make it a sphere and then hold it up a little bit and just squat it. I really made the tip of it really thick and then the sides blew out a really good amount, right? Because I kept being like, blow harder. Level.
So Cliff, now you can just close
Blow.
all the doors and move right on the second door, okay? The second left door. Perfect. Yep.
Off air. On air. Off air. Does that feel thick enough to condense a little bit and squat? All right. So what we're gonna do is just, we'll do an overall heat, just bring it to the bench and hold it up a little bit, and if you can cap it. And I'm just gonna paper it and we'll just, yep, just like that, and I'll paper it and it'll squat it up. Unless you feel comfortable just holding it up. But that's kind of crazy. There. Oh. Never mind. What was that? Okay. Cap it and angle, we'll angle it down. Cap it. And level. Honestly, I kind of think it's okay because I'm going to cut this part and that'll be fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Chrissy, can you look at the front of it and tell me what you think we should do? Well, I wanted it to be wide because it's going to hang on the wall, so I wanted it to be like a face, and I'm going to cut the back of it off. Yeah, I just wanted it to be schmoopier. And if you can immediately come out and then have it up at an angle again, and Krista can cap it, we're gonna smush it and then give it a tiny puff. Yep. All right, level. Tiny poof. Harder poof. And off poof. Yeah, that's it. That's good. Aaron Nelson, can you glove up for me? Perfect. Un poquito flashes. I'm not worried about the face of it so much, I just want to torch the back a decent amount. Oh, Aaron, do you want a sweater, dude? The hard part is not touching it when you're like, it's textural, right? It's kind of a butter face. The front of it's not perfect, but whatever. It's pretty, but for a face. Do, 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 do. That's good. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Ooh. Yeah. All right, just gonna. Yep, we're gonna do one last flash, and then we'll. Aaron, if there's any way for you to put since the opening's not gonna be polished or anything, if you can have the opening facing the back and not the doors, like the part that we knock off, if that can be facing like down or away from the doors, that'd be ideal. So when you hold it, just shove it in. Don't like flip it. Yeah. So it's a little toasty, especially in the front, so we're just gonna hang out for a sec. We're gonna do a little Steuben saw. It's from an old Steuben glass blower that was giving away all of his tools for $200. Gave me like 7 of these. All right, and then we will gently grasp it. Hold it.
Got it?
Aaron Nelson for the win! Thank you guys. Thank you for all being here right now. And thank you at home.